Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back again in our YouTube channel, and the content of the video is about mathematics, and I will give the text of changing the sound with my voice. Okay, let's check it out. 26%. A national report card lists the percent of US 12 girls who are passionate in math. In America, we pride ourselves as being an exceptional country, but does 26% sound exceptional to you? Raise your hand if you think as a country we need to do way better than this. I'm with you. We all need math, but why are so many kids confused by it? Is it because only 26% of people are hardwired for math, while 74% are not? After working with dozens of kids, I can tell you this is the case at all. Kids don't understand math because we've been teaching is the humanizing subject. But if we make math human again, it will start to make sense again. You're probably wondering how was math a human in the first place, so think about it. Math is a human language, just like English, Spanish, or Chinese, because it allows people to communicate with each other. Even in ancient time, people need the language of math to connect trade, to build monuments, and to measure the land for farming. This idea of math as language is actually new. A Greek philosopher once said, "The laws of nature are written in the language of mathematics." So you see, even Galileo agreed with me. But somewhere along the line, we have taken the language of math, which urban world around us, and we have abused beyond recurring. And that's why kids are confused. Let me solve it way. Third, California math. 10 and see if all what makes sense on a year old. Understand a fraction 1 or b as the quantity formed by one part when a whole is partitioned into b equal parts. Understand the fraction ab, the quantity formed by part of size 1 or b, and if you give the description, probably get a reaction like this. To a math expert, the standard makes sense, but to a kid, it's absolute torture. I choose this example specifically because fractions are foundational to algebra, trigonometry, and even calculus. So if kids don't understand fraction in elementary and middle school, they got taught at them in high school. But is there makes fraction kids to understand? Yes. Just remember that math is a language and use it to your advantage. For example, when I teach 5th grade how to add and subtract fraction, I start with the apples plus apples lesson. First I ask what one apples plus one apples, and kid will often say two, with is particular correct. Have them include the word as well. Science math is a language, so it's not just two, it's two apples. Next is three pencil plus two pencil. You all know that pencil plus pencil give you pencil, so everyone saw how many pencils? 5 pencil is right, and the key is you include the word. I tried this lesson with my 5-year-old next once. After she ate pencil and pencil, I asked her what's 4 billion plus 1 million. And my aunt overheard this and she scolded and said, "Are you crazy?" She is asking how she supposed to know 1 million plus 1 million. And then my niece finishing counting, look up and say 5 billion, and I said that's right, it is 5 billion. Because it's not expanded from 5 years, but all you have to do is language approach and math become in 2 years easy to understand. Then ask her a question that kindergarten if you're not supposed to know. What 1/3 plus 1/3? And immediately she answered 2/3. So if you wondering how could so possible know when she does know about numerator and denominator, so she numerator and denominator. She talk of the problem this way. And she used one apple plus one apple as her analogy to understand one third plus one third. So if even kindergarten can add fraction, you better believe that every fifth grade can do it well. Just for fun, I answer a high school algebra question. What's 7x squared plus 2x squared? And this little girl correctly answered 9x squared. And she didn't need any exponent rules to figure that out. So when people say we are either hardware for mother in true, math is a human language, so we all have the ability to understand it. We need to take a language approach to math urgently because too many kids are lost and are anxious about math, and it doesn't have to be that way. I work with an angry, frustrated high school student on one page algebra because we only know 44% of her multiplication facts. I told her that like trying to read and only knowing 44% of the alphabet is holding you back. She could factor or solve equation and she had no confidence in math. Uh, this teenager had confidence herself. I told her, we have to start with multiplication because once you know all your facts behind everything gets and it will be like having read original. What do you think? And she said, okay. So Stamleki learned her timetable in 4 weeks, and yes, even multiple has language in it. You be surprised how many kids don't realize 7 times 3 can be solved 7 times 3. We just mean 3 7 times, just like this. So when kids see this way, they quickly realize the cerebral addition is slow and inconvenient. So the greedy memories then 3 7 times always give you 21. So for the teenager who was at risk of dropping out, become fluent confident in multiplication was a game changer. Because for the first time the slot focused problem solving instead counting on her finger. I never she had turned on Cornell when figured out her 2 year class as 445 and Mon would cost and me desperately and said, Mr. Poison, that expensive. And that moment math was no longer causing problem for her, but she using math solve problem as a responsible adult would. As an educator, it's my duty to challenge kids to reach Hegel, so I left you with this challenge. Our country is stuck at 26% proficient, and I challenge you to post that number higher. This is important because mathematical thinking not only build you mean, but our kids need to make and build a future that doesn't is exit. Meeting the challenge can be as simple as A plus plus A plus. Insist that we teach math a human language and we will get there sooner rather and then later. Thank you. Okay, this is my job on video. Thank you for watching.